At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Mike Krueger. You're watching Coffee with Krueger. It is Monday, April 15th. We're midway through the month of April. Can you believe it? Although it didn't feel like April this weekend, did it? Temperatures were about 20 degrees below average for most of us. The valley, the mountains, it was a cold weekend. You know, I was watching my son's track tournament or track meet over the weekend on Saturday. I mean, I was freezing. I had gloves on, I had a hat on. Good news is, and I mean, I'll be 100% honest with you, I was expecting to be wet as well, at least in Reading. It wasn't through a good majority portion of the track meet. There are a few sprinkles, but overall, the rain stayed to the south of Reading. It was that flow around the area of low pressure that was the key to the whole forecast. And again, I talk about this in the forecast many times, right? Sometimes you have these storm systems, and it depends on the position, can make or break a forecast. And the area of low pressure broke my Reading forecast, at least, because on Saturday, because most of the rain stayed to the south, because that area of low pressure stayed a little bit to the south as well. It's kind of interesting, but bottom line, it was cold over the weekend, and many of us experienced those cold temperatures. But the good news is, if you want to get back to warmer and drier weather, we've got it in the forecast. It's expected to be absolutely gorgeous out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the radar right now. And what we're seeing here, interesting. Okay, big number, big letters here. All right, anyway, here's a look at the radar. And there you can see, of course, this is a loop from the last 12 hours. So we did see the rain, especially to the east last night, and even some of that higher elevation snow, but it quickly moved out because the area of low pressure, the storm system, moving out as well. Now, taking a look at the rainfall totals over the weekend, well, despite the fact that we didn't see much rain on Saturday for Reading, we did see a lot more rain Saturday night and into Sunday. In fact, some really good, steady, moderate rain overnight for the Reading area, and putting West Reading almost at 1.25 inches over the last 48 hours. Now, there was less than 1 inch, but close to it for places like Red Bluff, Corning, Chico, Orville, about 0.6. And in fact, a little bit less rainfall out towards the coast, only about 1/4 inch out towards Crescent City, Eureka a little bit more. But you can see really the bullseye of the heaviest rainfall the last 48 hours, the darker greens, the yellows. That's where the bulk of the rain was. Now you can see another little bullseye in eastern portions of Humboldt County, but we didn't see as much rain off to the north and east. Now, of course, with all the rain, I mean, this is great. You've been probably hearing about this. We're going to take a look at the lake levels. Distance from the crest. Shasta Lake is only 7 feet from the crest. I mean, this lake is 95% full, historical average over 100%. Look at Trinity Lake, 84% full, only 25 feet from the crest. And you can see Lake Orville, about 22 feet from the crest, at 90% full and 122% of the historical average. So yeah, you've been hearing about the lake levels. Here they are. I mean, here's that confirmation. We continue to see them rise. Now, we can also bank in the fact that the snow cover, look at the season so far. Now, this is as of Friday, so as of the 12th, but you get the idea. Everywhere, minus the southern Sierra for the April 1st average, everywhere is at least 100%, if not higher, for the percent of April 1st average to normal to date. The statewide average is 100% of April 1st average and 112% of normal to date. All right, so, you know, the lakes are full. The lakes will continue to stay full because we've got this great reserve off in the higher elevations right now. Now, speaking of snow, check this out. This is out in Big Valley, 4,200 feet, courtesy of Sophia. She reported about 4 inches of snow. This is out in Shieldtown, 3,600 feet, courtesy of Casey Kerrigan. There you can see, of course, the snow. This is, by the way, Sunday morning. This was yesterday morning. So 24 hours ago, that's what it looked like in many of these areas. Mount Shasta. Now, Mount Shasta is approximately 3,500 feet, at least the center of town. So this is going up a little bit higher in elevation, but still. I mean, look at all that snow off in the distance there. This is a Castle area. Don't have the elevation. It looked like a very wet snow. But snow, nonetheless, that accumulated on the ground and on the trees. Thank you, Catherine, for sending in that image. This is Lake McCumber at about 4,200 feet, courtesy of Kelly Smith. There it is. A wet, slushy snow, but snow in mid-April. This is out at Johnson Park, that is, at approximately 3,200 feet. Now, this is really close to Bernie, so I'd be willing to guess that Bernie probably saw some of that snow. I don't have a confirmed report because I didn't get any images or anybody reporting it, but I'd be willing to guess that Bernie may have seen some snow yesterday morning. I want to show you this too because we did get some images that came in from Facebook yesterday. This is out at Montgomery Creek that you can see right here. Thank you, Sherry, for sending in that image. So that's Montgomery Creek. Let's take a look at, let's see what else we got here. This is out at Big Bend. See a little bit of a dusting of snow there. And again, a lot of it in these lower elevations. As you start getting down to about 3,000 feet and lower, it was very slushy snow. Let's see what else we got here. This is, okay, we looked at Big Bend. This is Oak Run. This is at 1,600 feet. Again, very slushy, had a hard time accumulating, but you can see it kind of on the concrete there on the, right by the pool. It didn't accumulate because it was too warm, but typically where we see it, the grassy areas, a little bit of that dusting of slushy snow. So 1,600 feet, that's the lowest reported elevation. Check this out. This is out at Bella Vista. This is just above Redding. This is at about 650 feet in elevation, maybe a little bit higher, but you get the idea. I mean, even at that low of an elevation, we saw a slushy snow. So, I mean, this was a very cold, and this is something I talked about on Friday in my forecast, saying that, I was expecting Saturday night, Sunday morning to see some of the lowest snow levels, which is where we would see the biggest concerns with road conditions, which of course, there were chain requirements, mainly east of I-5, but there were chain requirements. We take a look at the high temperatures we saw out there yesterday. Cold, really cold, especially for this time of the year. This is about, at least in the valley, for the most part, 20 degrees below normal. Now, a little bit of an anomaly. We actually saw some clearing in Orville at 60 yesterday, but elsewhere, only in the low 50s for the valley. Look at Alturas, only a high of 38 degrees. And in the mountains, in the low to mid 40s, and the coast, low to mid 50s. Now, temperatures right now, it's a little cool out there. You may need that light jacket heading out the door this morning. Otherwise, it's going to warm up beautifully this afternoon. Here you can see right now, 34 degrees for Alturas, 48 degrees in Eureka. All right, so here's what we have in store for us today. Here's your neighborhood at a glance. So remember that 51 we saw in Redding yesterday? How about more like 71 today? Gorgeous, right? 66 degrees in Trinity County. Still cool for some of those higher elevations, especially for Siskiyou and Modoc County. But the eastern mountains, probably getting somewhere in the low 60s for those daytime highs. Now, I want to show you the visibility because I think there's going to be some patchy fog out there, especially some of the low-lying areas in the mountain valleys and some of those inland valleys as well. And maybe even along the Sacramento River in the Sacramento Valley, we may see some of that fog as well. Here you can see some of the cameras. This is some of the road conditions. And you can see wet roads, but not icy, not slushy, not snowy. Now, do bear in mind that some of these higher elevations, some of these higher mountain passes could be dealing with some slick roads due to the potential for some ice, especially over some of those bridges. So just be aware of that. Now, there's some of the fog I was talking about, some mist and some fog for some of those low-lying areas. There you can see out towards Hatchet Mountain. There's Cedar Pass. Again, no rain, no snow, but it's a little misty and foggy out there in some spots. Here's leftover moisture. There's Lassen Park, the north entrance there, and you can see the roads are clear. Shingletown, even seeing some of that mist and fog out there this morning. Let's take a look at Highway 36. You can see near Chester, a lot of that snow has melted. Johnson Grade, and for Donner Summit, looks pretty good there, just wet. And we take you out to Highway 36 and 44. just a little wet. There's southeast Susanville. Looks like things are dry on the roadways there as well. Let's take a look at Main Street Chico on Highway 32, excuse me. And there you can see, of course, looks like their electric bus is just kind of waiting at that traffic light. But traffic otherwise flowing smoothly. Doesn't look like this camera is updating, so let's advance to the next camera. And this is taking you out to Sundial Bridge Drive on Highway 44. Now, it looks a little bit of a light fog out there. Now again, you can see kind of this is around near the Sacramento River, so this is what I was talking about. Some of these areas close to the Sacramento River may see some light fog out there this morning. So just be aware of that on your morning commute, heading out to work or getting the kids out to school. This is also an old image out in Crescent City. Don't pay attention to it. This is Lake Oroville, North Forebay. A little bit of a light breeze out there, but otherwise, you can see kind of the clear skies we have out there this morning. Let's see if we can take a look at some colors. And, not a ton, but you can see a few clouds there off in the distance. So we've got this, a weak disturbance. Now look at this spin over Utah. That's the area of low pressure that was impacting us, giving us the cold temperatures over the weekend, and not to mention the rain and the snow, right? Now it's moved out to the east. Now there's a weak disturbance behind it. That's going to give us some clouds for the first half of the day today. But behind that, we'll see clearing and high pressure building in, which means more sunshine, warmer temperatures. So that's what I was talking about. We take you into the late morning to midday. There's some high to mid-level clouds for your noon hour, but then going through the afternoon, those clouds kind of move out. Now, there's still going to be some puffy cumulus clouds, especially for some of the higher elevations this afternoon and going into tonight, but otherwise, looks like mainly clear skies, although it looks like some fog and out along the coast, especially out towards Humboldt County. All right, so here's your forecast for today. Temperatures much, much warmer. In the valley, we're talking around 70, give or take. For the mountains, mainly in the 50s and 60s. So gorgeous weather compared to what we saw over the weekend, right? So let's take a look at that 7-day outlook, and we're going to just kind of take a look at the valley. There's Redding, Red Bluff, and Chico. Those temperatures are actually getting warmer. By the end of the week, we're back in the low 80s. Now, the normal high for this time of the year in the valley is about 71 degrees, so we'll be that today, but then we're climbing above normal after that. For the coast, inland, and for Trinity County, also warmer temperatures, especially in the inland areas in Trinity County. Not quite 80, although I may be updating these temperatures for the latter part of this week, and we could possibly touch 80 degrees for some of those inland areas and Weaverville. But the coast, not seeing much of a temperature spread there, basically upper 50s, low 60s. For Siskiyou, Modoc, and Eastern Mountains, also warmer weather. Now today, we're recovering from the cold air. And so that's why it's going to take a day or two for us to kind of warm things up. But you can see by Thursday, Friday, even for the mountains, you're talking temperatures upper 60s and low 70s when we're talking about those daytime highs. Let's go and take a look at what everyone's doing this morning here. Good morning. Everyone's saying good morning to everybody. We've got Tyler joining us from YouTube. Welcome, Tyler. I think you're fairly new to this show. I appreciate you kind of chiming in this morning. Good morning. Coffee time. Have a great day, everyone. It is my coffee time. I'm going to take a sip. There's Tyler putting the coffee icon there. About 10 inches of snow within 3 hours. Wow. 3,600 feet in Shingletown. All right. Thank you, Tyler, for that update. Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting morning, to say the least, on Sunday morning. And confirmed report. I mean, almost a foot of snow in Shingletown. Now, central Shingletown is 3,500 feet. So I'm sure upper Shingletown, a place like Viola, probably saw a bit more. Good morning to Butch. Haven't seen you in a while. Casey, 3,600 foot elevation. Now, here's what's interesting. Last 24 hours, 3.3 inches of snow and 0.81 inches of water. All right, thank you, Casey, for the report. Jay saying good morning, as well as Bill. Looking clear in Red Bluff this morning. Yes, it was a cold weekend with a lot of rain. It was. I mean, it was a wet, cold weekend, but we're breaking away from that. I'm really excited about that. Hello, Pam and Dean and Rebecca. Looks like a great week of some seeds. Yeah, you might be able to think about getting your gardens going and planting this week. Good morning from Jared. Looks like we got Elaine here, Ashley saying good morning as well. So thank you all for chiming in this morning. I appreciate you taking the time to just, clackety-clack on the keyboard a little bit here and say hello to me and say hello to everyone. I certainly appreciate that. Well, of course, today is Monday, and what's really fun is I recorded my segment with Sharon Clay over at Turtle Bay, and we had a lot of fun. We always have fun, but there's a lot of things that have been going on at Turtle Bay over the last year. They're making a lot of improvements to their exhibits, which we're going to see that here in the weeks to come. The animals have been very busy. Some of the animals have been very busy on and off the screen. And when I say that, a documentary on PBS and a movie. Yes, that's right. A full-on movie that was produced by some big-time producers and directors, and it was so neat. So today is Monday, and as you know, that means it is time for our Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. It's brought to you by Cottonwood Small Animal and Large Animal Clinic, so we appreciate their sponsorship. And without further delay, let's go ahead and see what's going on with our Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. Hello everyone, Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. We've got Sharon Clay from Turtle Bay. We've got Gucci and Blossom.
Yes, we do.
And so they're of course always a big famous thing, but there's some really cool things that have been happening with cameras, not just what we're doing here with Wonderful World of Animals, but you've got an Oscar there.
You have one too.
There's one over here.
We have like 6 of them.
Wow, okay, so you had a documentary and a movie that was made, right?
Oh yeah, we should have another one too. Yeah, we have Oscars like crazy. I mean, that's just how good we are around here. I mean, these were not made at home on a 3D printer or anything like that. Like, these are the real thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean,
they
like, they're real.
They look it.
They look like it and everything. We think they all deserve Oscars for their incredible performances. Yes, we did a documentary on PBS Nature that aired, that is still on streaming, so people can watch it. It was amazing.
Oh my
gosh. It was I'm not biased at all. It was amazing. So PBS, they came out from England and they videoed Buzz, our turkey vulture, for all their turkey vulture segment in Raptors. Fistful of Daggers is what it's called.
Oh, wow.
And they were on the April 10th episode was Buzz the turkey vulture.
Awesome.
So she does definitely deserve an Oscar for that one.
Well, and I got to see the behind the scenes footage of you guys watching, and I mean, it was like they were watching their child, on TV on the big screen. So it was amazing. You guys have so much love for these animals. It's very apparent.
And that was just on a TV screen.
That was just on a TV screen. So we have a movie screen thing too going on, right?
Yeah, so that opens on the 19th. It is Sasquatch Sunset. We are like crazy excited about it. Crazy excited. We filmed for 3 days in the Redwoods with the film crew. It's with the Zellner brothers was the writers and directors. They do indie films. It's an indie film. It is hysterical from what we saw. The parts we were there for was so funny. It is R-rated for a reason. That's my warning to everyone. It is R-rated for a reason. But one of the things that was so great about it, we have 6 animals in it, by the way. Blossom is in it, and Blossom's in the preview. Gucci was in it. Also Digger, the badger. Spike, our 21-year-old North American porcupine. She stole the show. We got her a Best Actress Oscar. We did. She deserved it for sure. And then we also got Mischief, the raccoon. He got Best Engineering. He's a raccoon. And we gave him his Oscar, and the first thing he did was break it in half.
I'm sure, yes.
So we were like, exactly what he should have done.
But if they're real, they shouldn't break.
He's very strong. He's a raccoon. I mean, this explains why you shouldn't have a raccoon. Yes. So, but anyway, so it was really fun. But here's the thing that I think is super important. We always see animals in films, in movies, or in TV, and we always do wonder just a little bit about what goes on. And I was so impressed. I mean, as everyone knows, we would never.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are you grooming and having fun on screen here? She's got to look pretty. they were so respectful of the animals. It was amazing. Like they wanted Digger to do one thing. You know, Digger gives high fives. You've gotten a high five.
Oh yeah, I've gotten it.
But it's a Sasquatch movie, and he did not recognize the Sasquatch hand as anything. So he was like, I don't know what that is, and I don't know what you want me to do with it.
Wow.
So he wouldn't do the high five. And, you know, I really was worried. This was my first film, and I thought they're going to get upset that Digger won't do it.
Yeah.
You know? And they didn't even care. They're like, okay, we'll do something else. And so they were very respectful of the animals. They didn't try to make us push the animals to do anything they weren't comfortable with. So it was, what it ended up being was an amazing, enriching experience for the animals to be in the redwoods with new smells and wandering around with new things. And so it was lovely, and we can't wait to see it.
Well, I'm excited because you invited me to the. This is a special moment, so I'm very excited about that. So it sounds like that it's just really neat. I'm super excited for you guys. I'm super excited with all the great things. I know that Digger has done things in the past as well, not just with movies, New Girl. So I mean, there's a lot of Hollywood action going on here at Turtle Bay. So I feel honored to be a part of that and to know these animals. I'm holding a star. I'm holding a movie star in my hand right now. So how exciting is that? So thank you, Sharon. And of course, you'll probably want to check out that movie. Not 100% family friendly though, right?
No, it is not. It is an indie kind of risque comedy. So yes, definitely a warning on that.
Inappropriate type humor type of thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So make sure you know that when you go into it. But you get to see our animals on screen. And to me, that makes the whole thing.
And family friendly would be the PBS documentary, so be sure to check that out. I know that's online, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, very cool. Well, thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Oh, someone went Blossom over there. And thank you, Gucci, for hanging out with me and being so good, being so nice. So we will see you next week for another Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. So that was fun. You know, Sharon, the amount of excitement, you know, I go there every week and I chat with her, and of course, there are a lot of others there, the volunteers there. And I mean, the amount of enthusiasm they have for these animals, I mean, you talk about an environment for animals. I mean, if I was a stranded animal, that would be the place I'd want to be, because of the way they take care of the animals. They just love those animals to death. I mean, it's amazing. So I encourage you, of course, again, she showed me some behind the scenes images and of the movie, the Bigfoot movie. A little inappropriate. I would not recommend it for anyone under the age of 16, 17 maybe more like an adult. 18 and older would probably be a good recommendation, because it's a little bit of some inappropriate humor. But the documentary for the Vulture certainly was something that you could check out on PBS. Yes, famous animals right here in Redding. Blossom is so adorable. Yeah, I love Blossom. And Blossom is so great. And, you know, Gucci, I was holding Gucci the opossum, and it was just sitting there in my arms. You saw it just didn't give me any problems at all. And Dizzy saying good morning, looking forward to some drier weather. And so I certainly appreciate that. I'm glad everyone's watching and, of course, sticking around for the Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. Tell you what, let's get to the forecast now. We're going to get into a deeper dive forecast. And, of course, we need to talk about our sponsor, which is made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. So at Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. I want to again thank Wind Rivers for their support. Let's go ahead and get to the forecast now. And of course, looking at the radar to start things off here, I wanted to show you the rain that we have seen over the last 24 hours. Now, this is looking about a loop from the last 12 hours. You can see last night, most of it was off to the east, and that's because the area of low pressure is shifting eastward, so that rotation around that low is what brought some of that overnight showers and some snow for some of those higher elevations. But for the most part, you know, it's just looking pretty good out there. Now, these are the rainfall totals we saw over the last 48 hours. So it's going to probably be different in your neighborhood, depending on where you are. But these are from the rain gauges that I'm reporting from right? So it just depends on where you are. About 1.25 inches out in West Reading. And of course, a little bit less than that to the south, but still very impressive amounts of rainfall. That's Oroville, by the way, being covered up by the clock, but you can see about 0.6 of an inch of rain. Quincy, about 4,300s, 3,200s out in Susanville. And you'll notice, not very impressive. Not very impressive at all out towards Crescent City, only about 1/4 of an inch of rainfall in the last 2 days. This is through the weekend. There you can see Eureka, about 0.67. Now the temperatures we saw yesterday, it was chilly. If you were outside at all, you had to kind of bundle up. I went to my son's track meet on Saturday, just as cold. And of course the wet conditions out there, but it is going to be a lot warmer out there for today for most of us. Temperatures right now, a little chilly. You may need that light jacket heading out the door, but you won't need it this afternoon. Temperatures mid to upper 40s for those temperatures right now. 37 degrees in Susanville, just above freezing out in Alturas and Chester. So again, we're clearing things out, but temperatures are still above freezing in many locations. Here are your headlines. Clearing skies and warmer today. Highs climbing above normal this week. We're going to be about normal today. We're in the transition today. Colder over the weekend, warmer today, and even warmer as we progress over the next few days. Dry conditions all week, and no major storms are in sight. I'm not seeing anything. So there you can see these are the clouds that will be moving in here later on this morning and afternoon. This is the storm system that was impacting us over the weekend. It's moving on out of here. And this is the ridge of high pressure that will be building in over the next 24 hours. But it's not going to be able to build very strong. See a storm system right here. There's another one back here. As long as these storms just continue to ride and push to the east, what it will do is prevent this ridge. Because think about ridge of high pressure, when you have a big arc like this, for example, that's when we see those really warm temperatures. But the reason we're not able to do this, and we're only going to be able to do this, is because, again, these storms are riding over that ridge and preventing that ridge from building in. So as a result, temperatures not as warm as they could get, but it's still going to be pleasant. Don't get me wrong. You'll see that here when we look at the forecast, but there are some of the high and even a few mid-level clouds by midday today. By the afternoon, looks like it starts to clear out, mostly sunny skies. There may be some fog developing again late tonight and into tomorrow morning for the coast, but otherwise, just gorgeous weather. So there's that storm system riding to our north. This storm system is digging to the south a little bit. So we do see those temperatures increasing into the low 80s by the time we get into especially Wednesday and into Thursday. But see this storm system, see what's happening is it's starting to kind of push to the east. We're seeing all this cold air staying to the north. So it's suppressing that warmer air. But that being said, it's still going to be very pleasant. Again, there's that colder air riding to the north, keeping that ridge from building too strong. But once again, temperatures still very mild for this time of the year. In fact, above normal temperatures are in the long-range forecast here as we go into the middle and latter part of this week, and not to mention this upcoming weekend. And as far as precipitation is concerned, no big surprises here. I was mentioning no big storms in sight. I don't see it. So we're going to be looking at a very good chance of seeing below normal rainfall. Now the winds may be a little bit gusty at times off and on here. You can see here for today, I mean nothing major, not a big deal. Notice they're north winds and they're going to be upwards of about 15 miles per hour for the valley and some of the higher elevations, a little bit stronger out along the coast. Then they kind of die down in the early morning hours, but then they pick back up again tomorrow. They may be a little bit stronger, maybe getting close to 20 miles per hour. Once again, a north-northwesterly flow of winds, a bit stronger out along the coast, 20 to maybe 30 miles per hour. Then you can see by midday on Wednesday, once again, still seeing some of those winds, but they should die down a little bit. So again, off and on breezy, you'll notice them from time to time, more of a nuisance than anything else as we typically talk about those kind of winds. Now the wave heights, look what's happening as we go into the next 24 hours. We're not going to see much change. So when we look at our marine forecast, you'll see that there's a small craft advisory, not only today, but it's expected to last through at least Wednesday of this week. So again, those gusty winds I was talking about, they're going to be really impacting the marine forecast as well. North winds today on the coast, or for your marine forecast, from the north at about 15 to 25 knots. So again, you can see those strong winds, small craft advisory as a result. Here's what it looks like today, looking at your Trinity County neighborhood forecast, and it's getting warmer out there. You can see Douglas City about 68, 63 degrees for Lewiston. But again, you keep in mind those temperatures were only in the 40s and some low 50s even for Trinity County. 61 degrees for Forest Glen today. Wildwood about 60. And there's High Pond with a high of about 63 degrees. Here's your North Coast neighborhood forecast, starting off with southern Humboldt County. Honeydew about 60. 59 degrees for Red Crest and 65 degrees in Garberville. We take you up north. There you can see Ferndale about 56, 57 in Fortuna, and Rio Dell about 55 degrees. And north of that, you can see 58 degrees for Trinidad, 60s. We could even touch 70 for some of the warmer spots inland today. Look for a high of 65 for Smith River, 58 for Klamath, 57 degrees for Oric and Gas Key, about 60 degrees for that daytime high. Let's take a look at Siskiyou County. Now, this is western Siskiyou County that we're looking at here with about 67 for Happy Camp, but a bit cooler out towards the I-5 corridor. Temperatures there will be in the low 60s. And looking at your Scott Valley neighborhood forecast in Siskiyou County, temperatures right around 60 for that daytime high, but temperatures increasing into the 70s by the end of the week. Here's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast for central and eastern Siskiyou County. So some of the higher elevations up to the north and east only reaching the mid to upper 50s today. And looks like the case here for Mount Shasta about 58, 61 for Dunsmuir and McLeod about 58 degrees. Notice not much in the way of cloud cover. No rain in the forecast either for the next 7 days at least, if not longer. Temperatures low to mid 50s as we take you out to Modoc County. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, Hat Creek about 57. There could be some patchy fog this morning. So when you see that fog there, that's only for the morning. No need to worry. It's not going to be an all-day type of an event. There you can see 51 degrees for Manzanita Lake, 43 for Summit Lake. So yes, cold out at Lassen Park, but it is warming up out towards Lake Elminor with temperatures upper 50s to around 60 degrees. You take you to the south, and there you can see out towards Paradise, a high of about 62 degrees, 56 degrees for Mineral. There you can see about 54 degrees for Janesville and Doyle, about 61. And your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. Those temperatures are going to be around 70. All right, so just gorgeous. This is normal. These temperatures you're seeing here, normal for this time of the year. Nothing unusual about the weather for today. Just that it's going to be a gorgeous, beautiful spring day. City of Shasta Lake about 70, 71 degrees out towards Redding, as well as Cottonwood and Lakehead, a high of about 65 degrees. So looking at your 7-day outlook for Redding, see those temperatures are going to be flirting with 80 for Tuesday, Wednesday. In fact, we're splitting hairs. Could we see 80 tomorrow? Sure. Could we see it on Wednesday? Why not? But it'll be even warmer, low 80s by Thursday, Friday, and not to mention through the weekend. So get out there and enjoy it. Jay is saying a great forecast. Love spring. I try not to take credit for the beautiful weather because, when it's not so great, I don't want to take credit for that either. Red Bluff Roundup is going to have great weather next weekend. That's right, Red Bluff Roundup is going on here. I'm going to see if I can maybe do some coverage of that as well, so maybe stay tuned for that. I've got a few people that I could be working with that I may have to touch base with today to see if we can work on some stuff this week. And of course, we can't forget about next month, the big Reading Rodeo is coming up too. Hey, and by the way, there's going to be all kinds of great events for Cool April Nights as well. So a lot of great things going on this week and going into this upcoming weekend. So yeah, we've got some beautiful weather for it, looks like it. Good morning from Dana and Famous Animals. Yes, of course, Lynn is saying love it all. This is great. Loving it. So glad you all could join us this morning. Let's take a look at some of the cameras as we kind of wrap things up this morning. Again, turning out to be absolutely gorgeous out there, and I'm expecting this to kind of last. It's going to get even warmer here over the next few days. We're going to take a look at some of the cameras as we kind of wrap things up this morning on Coffee with Krueger. That is going to do it for us this morning. So glad you could join us. We will see you again tomorrow morning, and we're going to be talking about those warmer temperatures and maybe start talking a little bit about some of the events going on around here, such as Red Bluff Roundup. Maybe start talking a little bit more about Cool April Nights. I'm excited to maybe see if I can arrange to get out there live for the Cool April Nights cruise. So for those of you who can't make it, maybe we'll be able to go check it out live on my 24-hour streaming channel right here on Facebook. Maybe we can try to get it live on pretty much all the platforms that I offer. I'm not guaranteeing it, but this is something I'm going to try to hopefully work on. I'm going to try to get together with the folks over there at Cool April Nights, see if we can arrange something. I am going to need a strong Wi-Fi signal. So if there's a business that is along the route of the Cool April Nights cruise, let me know. Let me see if they'd be willing to give me a prime spot location to where we can get the camera set up. Of course, we'll be sure to give a shout out to the business that does give me access to their Wi-Fi, because I think it'd be fun to get out there live and maybe have an expert with me who can kind of give a commentary about the cars that are kind of cruising on by, because it's always a fun event. Gotta love the smell of exhaust as they're driving on by, and of course the noise from all those loud mufflers. Let's take a look at some of the cameras out there as we kind of wrap things up this morning. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you again here tomorrow morning at 6:30.